Here we are in Crawfordville, Georgia, also known as Pigeon Creek, Alabama in the film Sweet Home Alabama. We're here at the town line kicking off our filming location tour. The movie's been filmed here about 13 years ago, so we want to see how the locations have changed throughout the years. So stick with us as we take you on this tour. In this opening scene of the movie, Melanie is driving down this road as she makes her way into Pigeon Creek. So in the film, we can see the courthouse on the left side here. Some trees in the way here, but we got a good shot here. And then over here to the right side, we pan out, come this way. This home you can see in the background right past that Pigeon Creek town line sign too. So things have, it's been 13 years, but things have not changed much. So here we go, Pigeon Creek. So here we are inside the Pigeon Creek Sheriff's Department. In this scene, we see Melanie calling her parents in hopes that they will bail her out of jail. The prisoner in the background being escorted in by the sheriff's deputies is actually a member of the film crew. He was just a walk-on for this part, and those are his everyday working clothes.
I just thought I'd surprise you.
Well, this certainly is a fine surprise, hearing from you. You know, being such a busy girl and all. Of course, I call people while I'm doing the dishes. They're yelling at me.
So in this scene, we see Melanie roll into town. She drives up to here, and you can see in the background on this wall at the time of the filming, there was a Coca-Cola mural. So she's driving into town in her dad's beat-up Ford truck. And she's driving along, and she ultimately ends up in this parking spot right here, while on the phone with her attorney.
Okay. Hold on. You know what? How long does a contested divorce take?
18 months. I don't have 18 months, Miss.
18 months? Mr. Buford, I don't have 18 months. I don't have 18 days. Okay, well, that's just not gonna work for me. Yes.
Don't see the likes of you around these here parks.
In this scene, we can see Melanie driving up to Stella's Roadhouse. She pulls in here.
Bright lights, big city.
This place looks the same on the exterior as it did in 2001. The droopy lights are still there, the imitation cannon, even the cinder block tables are there. Way in the distance on top of the roof, there's a pig that also was in the film. And then right here, while it reads Heavy's Barbecue, it read Stella's Roadhouse in the film. So, it's a cool little joint. In this scene here, we see Melanie pull up to Stella's Roadhouse and get out of her car, walking towards the bar, when she receives a call from Andrew.
I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
So here we are inside Stella's Roadhouse. This bar right here is the same bar that Melanie was sitting at when she saw her friend with the baby. However, the bar was right against that wall, and Stella was behind there serving drinks. In the movie, you can see the Coca-Cola sign, and it's in the same position as it was in 2001. One of the most famous lines in the movie, delivered by Melanie, took place right here. When,
In a bar. Oh my God! Look at you, all fancy. You look like you just stepped out of a magazine.
Oh, well, thank you. Look at you. You have a baby. In a bar.
So here we are in another part of Stella's Roadhouse. This is where the pool tables were. We had one over here, one over around this area here. And in this scene, we had Melanie walking between the two pool tables, and you could see this, this beam in this shot. In the distance, you could also see the door leading to the outside. That's actually the front entrance in the film. The wood wheels on the ceiling, those are still the same. A lot of decorations had been rented because apparently what was here in the barbecue place just wasn't fitting for the movie. But a lot of the stuff here looks the same as it did when they filmed in 2001. I mean, here's some shots that weren't in the film, but it's just what it looks like. You got the, well, I'm not quite sure what that is with the cheese on its head, but
Hey, Elder. Yeah. Are you hungry?
No, don't down.
Use a melody sandwich. This seems like old times, huh, man?
so here we are outside of Stella's Roadhouse. This is what it looks like during the day. Check out that white pavilion there in the distance. That's actually the same pavilion we see in the scene when Jake is trying to grab the keys away from Melanie so she wouldn't drive. This is the spot where they had the argument.
Oh, like you're going places. I am as soon as I get my keys out of here.
No, you don't.
Give me my purse.
No. You want to kill yourself? You want to kill yourself? You do it somewhere else.
And right here is where Jake's truck was parked. If you remember, Melanie had puked right in the front seat. So this is the spot. And this sign right here is exactly the same. Please use the front door. Didn't change. This pile of wood, not sure if it's the same wood, but obviously the same spot. And then this red thing here, whatever that may be, is also the same. The only difference looks like a new AC unit has been put in there. But in the scene, Jake was talking to his date, asking her to follow him home while he drives Melanie home.
Do me a favor. Follow us home.
So here we are out back at the Carmichael Plantation. There were several scenes in the movie filmed at this location. One of those scenes was the wedding. And on this path here, Melanie's lawyer, Mr. Buford, was running in hopes to get her to sign the divorce papers, being chased by the security detail. And here's where the wedding ceremony took place. All the chairs were facing forward. And there was also another scene in the middle of the movie when an anvil went crashing through this gazebo, fired by Bobby Ray and his grandpa. And out here in the distance there was a hedge line where Bobby Ray and his grandfather was firing off those anvils. And Melanie came to visit him, and she walked right out those doors and across this lawn.
Bobby Ray? Bobby Ray?
Melanie, don't move!
So here we are in front of the Carmichael Plantation. Right up here is where Melanie walked up. And knocked on the door. There's no longer a knocker here.
Yes.
And when she goes to leave, she walks down these stairs and is faced with the New York Post reporter. He's about in this general area taking photos of her.
Barry Lowenstein, New York Post. Oh boy, am I glad to see you. I'll tell you, it's definitely
So here's a look inside the Carmichael Plantation. This is a historic building, and for obvious reasons, the film crew had to be extremely careful not to touch the walls or any delicate pieces. In the scene, Melanie escorts the New York Post reporter inside to give him a tour. Beyond these white doors to the left is where the closet scene was filmed, where Melanie and the reporter were hiding. Also filmed at this location was the dining room scene where Andrew and his mother were eating. That was filmed here, not in New York.
wow. How old is this place?
It was built by my great-great-great-grandfather, Charles Carmichael, in 1853.
So this is the balcony in the back of the Carmichael Plantation that Melanie, Bobby Ray, and the New York Post reporter, aka the mayor's assistant, stood on in the film. In the scene, Bobby Ray yells out to his grandfather, who's blowing up anvils in the yard.
What the hell was that?
Hey, Grandpa! This here's Barry. He's doing an article on Melanie's...
After she gives him a tour of the plantation, Bobby Ray and herself walk out here again and send him off. Gets in his car right about this area and heads on that road.
Aren't you just a big fat liar?
Bobby Ray!
I'll go back to New York.
So right behind this building was the Pigeon Creek water tower. And in this scene, Melanie got out of her vehicle and made her way to the Pigeon Creek Catfish Festival. There was a fire truck right here blocking off the road. So here we are at the filming location where the famous Pigeon Creek water tower was erected. It was in this general area right here where we could see it in the film. This town in Crawfordville, Georgia didn't own a water tower at the time of filming, so a water tower from Texas was imported. In the scene where Jake and all the boys are drinking beers up on top, you can see in the distance a courthouse over here, which is the Pigeon Creek Courthouse. In real life, it's, I believe it pronounced Calafiro Courthouse in Georgia.
Wanna go arrest somebody? Hey, I know this great place where we go.
No!
So in this scene, we see Melanie leaving the Catfish Festival, walking down this side street, and that's when she notices the Coon Dog Cemetery sign. Shortly after, Jake meets up with her at the cemetery, and they have a chat. Here we are at the Coon Dog Cemetery. In this scene, we see Melanie enter the cemetery to visit Bear's gravesite. But look here, it's not an actual cemetery. In fact, it's just an empty lot. The art department redid the whole cemetery to mirror the real cemetery that's located in Alabama. They did a pretty fantastic job. And this is the barn that we see when Jake is pointing out to Melanie the fireflies right here in this general area. Structure still standing today. Cool little building. And we're off to the next location.
lightning bugs. Only you.
So here we are in the town of Pigeon Creek. And in this scene we see Jake and Andrew driving through town on the way to the battlefield to meet Melanie.
What this world needs is a few more rednecks. So people ain't afraid to take a stand.
So who's Melanie?
This is the road that Jake and Andrew travel as they make their way to the Civil War reenactment site so Andrew can surprise Melanie. The green bridge can be seen in the rear view window of Jake's truck as they're driving down this road.
So maybe the cat.
What cat?
The one with the dynamite on its back.
So here's an exterior shot of Deep South glass. In the film, there was a sign that read, "Grand Opening Weekend," right there between the two rows of windows on the side of the building. And at the bottom there was a white awning with a sign that read "Restaurant" along with the deck. The art department repainted this building, which was an old mill, and then built this white deck out front. Right here was the white arched bridge that Melanie and her friends from New York walked over as they entered the glass blowing shop. It was washed away in a flood in 2005. On the top of this building you can see a window here, and right below that is where the Deep South glass sign was attached. Today the building's a little weathered, but it actually looks pretty cool. And then over here to the left we have the outbuilding. This building was the building we see in the opening scene. In between those white frames, there was a sign that read "Glass Blowing." The joists have been removed, and the white awning off to the right has also been removed. But the building looks almost identical as it did then. Melanie and her friends are walking up and about to go inside to discover that Jake is the owner. So here we are inside Deep South Glass. This is where Jake showcased all his glassware. In the scene, Jake walked down these stairs on the left, and he noticed Melanie and her two colleagues from New York browsing his glassware in between the two beams. The art department did a great job transforming this space into a showroom. However, as you can see today, it doesn't look anything like it did in the movie.
Friend of yours?
Here's a look inside Virgie's cafe. This is the cafe in the movie where Melanie's attorney, Mr. Buford, is looking for her so she can sign the divorce papers before she walks down the aisle with Andrew, since she's technically still married to Jake at this point. The sheriff, his wife, and the other customers claim they have no idea who she is because they believe this guy is just a reporter. As you can see today, this place is now abandoned.
Yes, sir. Can we help you?
I'm looking for a Melanie Carmichael.
Anybody here recognize that name?